We're going to start with some tarot. Alright, first card, Page of Cups in reverse. Next, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse, and the Five of Swords in reverse. I like this. King of Cups on the bottom. Six of Wands in reverse. Ace of Cups in reverse, and Queen of Swords on her side. Eight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to pull some index cards to tie some of these themes together that I'm catching on this first go-around. I'm not quite sure are sticking yet. I just want to be positive. I do participate in consensus reality in the reverse. Here comes the Sun in reverse. Woof! What is going on here? Let's pull another one of these. Recovery kind of sideways. Okay. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna warm up to this energy though. I mean, okay, so the initial sense that I got was that with the Six of Wands in reverse, the Knight of Wands in reverse, and the Page of Cups in reverse, this seems like some silly sort of conspiracy going on around you that with the Ace of Cups in reverse, you are choosing to detach from. And with the Five of Swords in reverse, you are going silent on the matter. You are not speaking about it. It may not be a specific matter per se, but maybe just a source of information that people are really wanting you to share about. We have the Queen of Swords on the side pointing to recovery in reverse, which I just heard the word betrayal. There was just something that somebody did near you that caused you to feel like you had to come out of recovery to come check, not on them, but on what you want to do next about the situation. I think this may be multiple energies overlapping in your life, so you might be able to attribute the energy to multiple people. But it's possible that maybe someone flashed into your head at first, and it could be good just to go with that initial guess, or just intuition hit. Here comes the Sun in reverse. I just heard somebody wanted to come down on you on a cloudy day. Like, someone wanted to double down on a situation that was already difficult and make it harder. But with your power showing through here and your silence in that moment of this kerfuffling, I just see nothing but like positive results coming from this. We're just kind of laying the foundation down as to what went down for this specific wound that needs to be healed or worked with or processed. I do participate in consensus reality in reverse. This card is funny because it's already crossed out, so it's a changeable kind of energy. It used to say I do not participate in consensus reality. It's kind of an ebb and flow feeling between focusing on non-dualism, objectivity, subjectivity, dualism. You know, I think that there's value in all sorts of belief systems, and that it's hard to say this, but I mean, not necessarily, but just that certain things work at certain times. And so I know that there is an issue of cherry picking among belief systems, but I don't think you're doing any of that. I think if anything, the people that are forcing you to go into quiet, I heard solitude and I wanted to say shutdown, but it's not like an emotional reactionary shutdown unless it is. Because, I mean, it may be causing you to feel emotional that there is this kind of calamity going on around you at all in the first place. But your decision to detach from the issue and reassess what exactly went down is a very smart wise decision. I think that there are people around you here that are in regret. We have the Five of Wands in reverse at the bottom of the deck as I shuffled it there. I think you have people around you in regret about how they treated you, is what I heard. It's pretty plain and simple. I think they're in regret about how they treated you. I think they could have been a better friend to you. I think that you are jumping over the moment of disappointment that you have to detach, and you're simply reassessing what is going on in the baseline of your foundations. Does that make sense? Like, if you feel like you've been walking on shaky ground, you're trying to figure out what is shaky about it. It's not, I am controlling the sky and the ground and the weather and the earthquake and the tectonic plates. No, it's none of that. It's just, is my ground shaky or not? And I think for you the answer is, it is shaky. It's not to yell at the ground or to judge the ground or to condemn the ground. It's about figuring out, well, for some people it's about figuring out how the tectonic plates shift. That makes them feel better. For others, it's figuring out how long it takes before an aftershock hits. You know, there are different ways to comfort people through reactions to different situations, and I think that you're just... I just wanted to lay out all of those examples just to say there's no right single way to go about this particular problem, issue, whatever you want to call it, but just this thing that you've needed to detach from. And you're saying, I don't... How many times have I said this in the readings? I don't want to fight, I don't want to argue, you know, I just want peace. So that you're continuing to bang your drum and say your statement, which is, I don't want to fight. And, I don't know, I think some people just want to, feel something all the time by picking, kind of rile-ups in their day-to-day to happen because of choice words that they say. That's a very specific thing that I'm getting. I think people are trying to rile you up and you're not responding. And I think that's super cool of you. Truly. I just want to get 2 cards. So I got 3. Ooh, 3 beautiful, amazing cards. What? Excuse me? We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Star, and the Ten of Pentacles. Wasn't I just saying it's going to turn out really well for you? I'm going to sort these under these 3 cards that came out just to get them sorted. I don't know, I like sorting cards. So under Recovery in Reverse, we have the Wheel of Fortune. You know how I was talking about how you can't control everything around you or basically stop an earthquake from occurring? That's what you're learning to accept about the situation. You're saying there are elements about this that I can perceive, that I can work with, that I can ride, that I can hide under, that I can sail... Oh, I wanted to say sail belong, so sail alongside those, what I was going for. I feel like you're creating a sense of belonging through acceptance of your situation. You're saying, no matter what's going on, I belong here, which is to say, I belong. And to have that belief at any moment in time supersedes any kind of negativity being thrown at you in your immediate vicinity. I think this is big picture stuff. I think you're seeing outside of the walls of whatever establishment or building or situation or relationship or conversation you are in at this moment, where you're saying, no matter what negativity is happening, it's not a sign that I shouldn't be here. It's not a sign that I don't belong here. It's not meaning that I shouldn't do what I've been doing. That was just a straight up channel, okay? So I'm going back to this Wheel of Fortune now. The Wheel of Fortune itself is saying, this wheel is bigger than you, and it is turning of its, not necessarily of its own volition, but on the volition of all things. So whatever actions everyone has taken up until this point, including the action of gravity existing, that is an actionable thing. Run with it. Everyone's collective decisions and ways of existing, not only decisions, but like the natural rhythms and the ecosystems and the environments, have all led to this turn of the wheel, to this moment. So it's about looking outside of the petty quarrels of everyday life. It can be extremely hard to do that. It can be extremely hard to do, but that's why these cards show up in this way, these types of cards. Because under Here Comes the Sun in reverse, we have the Star. It was a feeling of hopelessness tumbling into the most hopeful card in the deck. You were expecting the Sun, but you got the Star. And I think that means that you have experienced a timeline shift. I think that means that you have jumped timelines. I think the thing that you have been waiting, and I'm hearing forward, maybe looking forward to happening, is happening. Don't worry if it doesn't, and I heard a horn honking for confirmation, don't worry if it doesn't look like it exactly yet. The Star loves to just string it along, but in a positive way. So it's just as long as it's going to take for that Star to just light up in your field of vision in a way that it hasn't yet, in a way that you're expecting something like the Sun to like blast you, and you're like, there it is. It's going to be a lot more subtle. It's going to be a little kiss on the forehead. It's going to be faint. It's going to feel into it like intuition is very quiet when you hear it inside of you. It's a little whisper. It's not the big kicking down of the wall of the Sun. And this is what the Wheel of Fortune is saying needs to be experienced right now. Okay? With the Ten of Pentacles after that, I'm just seeing all these stars up here above her head while she's not even thinking about money or material things. Thinking about money, material things, and spirituality, and the human self, and the spiritual self, and the divine, and everybody and everything. And I see all those stars coming down into form to create this treasure chest of pentacles, of little stars, that you can share with your loved ones. You can bring it into a group environment. You can bring it home. You don't have to go out and find it. You bring it home, and then you get to share it. So what does that metaphor mean to you? What do you want to bring home and share with others? Who do you want to share with? I think this restructuring of your life right now is clearing way for something new. And it's not to say that this needs to be like a revenge tale of going back and finding all of the reasons why these people wronged you. That can be super tempting, I know. Or just that, just that general idea. There's no need to do that. But basically, you're deciding right now, who do I want to bring with me? Who do I want to bring with me? What kind of energies do I want with me in this new beginning, on this new foundation? That's what new foundation building is all about. Four of Cups. You're saying I prefer boredom over drama. If I had to default to one of them more often, I would prefer boredom to drama. So maybe that's a huge clue for you as to who to lead yourself away from, who to lead yourself towards, who's just chill. And it's not just about being chill, because I think the Four of Cups can also speak about too much apathy, too much resistance to change. So don't necessarily gravitate towards the chillest energy near you when I'm speaking on this shift. But I am saying, who makes you feel chill? Some people can do that and they just kind of embody that essence. Some people can do that by being super organized and like taking care of all of the plans before you've even shown up. There are different ways to ease into energies with other people, and they don't all have, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach on restructuring your foundation. So I'm just laying out different examples to help guide you along the way. But the big one is stillness and contentment over drama right now for you. And I think this Knight of Wands in reverse and this Page of Cups in reverse and this Queen of Swords on the side are all kind of dramatic. I think there's some drama going. Obviously, I mean, we went over it at the beginning. But your ability to remain silent and to stay quiet and to not mind people seeing themselves out the Six of Wands can feel scary in the reverse when people are walking away at speeds in which, say, they haven't before, or just kind of dropping off of the call list or the table or the, you know, of your periphery. But it's because you just need a little solo hot spring bath until you can realize that all of the most important things are things you already possess, or all of the most important things are things you can't buy, or just whatever you need to break through to while in your kind of like sensory deprivation tank. If you haven't done one of those, they're pretty cool. They're very expensive, so maybe a good alternative is just like a bath with the lights off. If you don't have a bathtub, maybe just like rent an Airbnb. God, money is silly to talk about right now because it's so tight for everybody, but just however you can sensory deprivation a situation if you haven't tried it before. Because I think there are really clear messages that can come through that can just give you just a huge push of guidance in your life about where to go when you just close down and just let the messages come to you. And I think that's what the star talks about more than listening to friends or cohorts or bosses or peers or whoever is around you saying this and that about what you should do and who you are. That is not helpful to you right now, and that's why you've gone silent in a lot of areas, is because you're saying the more I talk, the more they talk. And the less I talk, the more I can hear myself. I become my own internal sensory deprivation tank in this nice, big quiet, is what I heard. Big quiet. So with the Ten of Pentacles under this confusing card about consensus reality, you may not agree with everyone else about what it means to be well off financially, spiritually, or otherwise, emotionally. You know, there are many ways to be rich. And I think to you, it's an application of the wealth that you have accrued in spirituality that will just make it come forward in the physical. I just have a really good feeling. And my ears are like ringing to the point where I can hardly hear for some reason. Like I have tinnitus in both ears suddenly. What's going on? Let me pull from another deck. I don't know what else to do. Alright, let's see here. Exciting spread. Give me something about this Ten of Pentacles first. We have the Eight of Cups. Ironically, it's because you didn't walk away from something for a long time. There are so many, I was going to say chances, but I started to say choices. There were so many choice opportunities to walk away from what you are doing right now. And we had the Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck there just to be scary. Okay. If you would have walked away from what you didn't walk away from, it would have been a difficult ending, to put it simply, with that Ten of Swords. But since you didn't, instead of a Ten of Swords, it's going to be a Ten of Pentacles. This is another testament to your staying power, because you could have bailed when it got tough. You could have left so many times. There were so many times you could have just gone another direction. You could have changed habits, changed whatever to make yourself feel better. But you said, no, I'm going to see this through. There's just something telling me that it's kind of dangerous on the sides of this right now, so I'm just going to keep pushing. And you did. And so now that's why you're able to quiet down and be yourself. You're able to pull back. You're able to hold on, because it's like, I didn't walk away from myself, and I didn't abandon a situation when it got difficult. So now I know what it means to stand still, and now that I'm standing still, I know what it is to see people who cannot, and no judgment about like needing to move. It's not about that. It's about an internal stillness. It's about an internal self-respect. And my ears are still ringing. This has not changed. It's very bizarre. The Fool and the Star. Solo trip. Solo trip. You're going solo. The band's breaking up, but you're going solo. Both of those under the Six of Wands. That a star emerging from a group going solo. I just got so many chills. You're breaking out of the group. You're breaking out of the band. You're breaking out of the band before they break up. And this is no... I almost, like, choked because I got excited. Relax. Deep breaths. Because I don't think this is a moment where you need to jump into taking actions to make sure this happens, to make sure your solo career takes off, to make sure that you're the star. You have been the star since day one. You have been there since the beginning. You can be impatient. There's nothing here telling you not to be. If anything, you're allowed to be impatient because this blessing has been held off because you haven't been allowed to recover by the silliness going on. I'm just going to call it silliness because these are a bunch of court cards. These are pages and knights, and the queen was the only one really looking at the situation, but we don't know how we feel about this queen. What we know is that the star and the fool are walking away, and this may be you and another person, or this may be two aspects of your energy, or someone who you notice is doing the same thing, and you're like, we're doing it, you know. You are making magic happen. With your moment of rest right now. Let's get one for under recovery. This one's sideways. The Queen of Cups sideways over the Wheel of Fortune, and the Three of Wands reverse at the bottom of the deck. Look at how much this is covering up the wheel. You don't even know the wheel exists anymore when there's this gigantic energy covering it. The wheel works whether or not we can see it. The wheel works in silence, I just heard, in perpetuity. It spins, it spins, it spins. It slows down, it speeds up, but it spins. I think either someone else's intuition is trying to cover the fact that the wheel spins whether or not we predict it's spinning. Does that make any sense? I don't know why that felt so relevant. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm getting it. Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck with the Devil reversed. This is a huge ego release. Huge stripping of your ego, which is so good. Not that yours was like doing anything inherently I mean, egos are kind of destructive, so, you know, they can be, but it's just really excellent the way that you're just kind of slipping off yours or out of yours, like a suit, I don't know. Five of Swords reversed, recovery reversed, Wheel of Fortune with the Queen of Cups covering the wheel. I think since you've gone silent and you're refusing to participate in the antics any longer, or just the conversations that you don't want to have, or any of it, someone is trying to cover your knowledge of how life's karmic cycles and time cycles work and play out, where energy is always going to be redistributed into balance eventually. The pendulum will always swing to the other side and then back again. There is no stopping these primordial forces from being at work. You cannot keep them at bay. But someone is trying to project their intuition over your knowledge of this fact. I don't think they're succeeding. I think they tried to do it in a similar way to this Queen of Swords over here. I think there are two energies that are butting heads because they are trying to cover up what you know with their intuition or their intellect, but in opposite ways. So just watching them attempt to jump over the facts is clearing it up for you in an instant. And that's why you're like, I'm not talking to either of you. And that's a good idea. That is a good idea. I'm not, you know, yeah, that's what needed to be said. Three of Cups in reverse over the star. This is how it landed. Someone wanted to take your cups right out of your hands. So I think that you know, you could have been great pals in the past. This could be you and this could be the two of them. You really got along at one point. You really understood how to have fun together and what it was to hang out. I don't know, it's not that deep. And then at one point they just tried to take a cup out of your hand. And you were like, oh. Now it's not fun anymore. Now I don't even want to talk. You know, Hierophant. And this Page of Cups in reverse again. And the Sun in reverse. I think it had an echo effect. I think it emanated outward. That's just the intuitive hit I got. This Page of Cups reversed is here twice. I'm sorry if I just keep repeating that, but it's bothering me. Okay. Staying on course, let me just check over everything and make sure I'm not bouncing around too hard. Your staying power brought you this new fortune. And I see you just moving on from this kind of negative third-party situation. And I just think you're knowing and of the way that the wheel will always spin. Your faith in the wheel is basically going to make this a slam dunk and just the easiest transition ever is what I heard. Let's pull out a different deck just to change things up. You stepped away from the right things, you stayed connected to the right things, you clammed up around the right people. King of Wands in reverse, Ace of Wands upright. I'm going to put this over with this group over here. These court cards. These court cards. This Hierophant is here to like look over all of it from beneath. So there may be like an institutional basis for what you're doing that is keeping an eye on the ways that people are treating each other in this institution. I don't know. There may be like, and here's the Six of Wands coming around. This is good. I think that there's a way to get away with everything. You know, get to keep the, I don't know. I hope keep the friends. If these are friends, I think you've already stepped away from what you need to step away from, but it's still just a matter of saying to yourself, what do I want to incorporate into this system that I'm living in order to keep the good things going and to renegotiate the things that are unnecessarily hard. And that's using the incredible critical thinking skills that you have. Sorry, I got a little tripped up on my words there. King of Wands in reverse, Ace of Wands upright. I think you're just learning that you don't have to be domineering or dominant in order to be right. You don't have to be demolishing someone else's perspective in order to present your own point of view. You don't have to be the established person who knows everything in order to have been collaborating with the establishment for a long time and to know enough about it just from years of experience. Like, that's getting a little specific. But do you know what I mean? I already have them flipped over here. Let's see. King of Cups, right over the star. Right over the Three of Cups sideways. The Hierophant again. Hey, cool. You are safe. You are protected by the fact that there is no one entity or energy or emotional boundary that someone in the past has set that can demolish, I'm saying the word demolish a lot, but demolish the care that you have cultivated for this person or for this profession or for this craft or for this way of living, for this way of speaking. I just got you're no longer censoring yourself, but it's because you're no longer talking as much. You know what I mean? Like, I speak in absolutes a lot, but please take it as it resonates, or take it apart if that helps it resonate, or don't make it resonate if it doesn't resonate. It resonates or it doesn't. I think you're finding that looking outward too far outward into everyone else's experience is not helping you the way that it used to. And, you know, maybe you used to overextend yourself in order to provide help that you know people needed, but they were too afraid to ask for. So it became hard to discern which area to put your love and your care, because it just felt like everybody needed so much all the time. I'm feeling such a big, empathetic heart from you. Especially with this King of Cups. He is the King of Emotional Intelligence. That's what it says right here, if you can read that. Boop, boop, boop. Emotional intelligence. I'm sure you know that not everyone has the ability to be sympathetic, but what you hold and what you possess... Wow, the star. What you hold and what you possess is 10 times more powerful than that, than sympathy. What you emanate will always save you. It will always take care of you. I heard both of those at the same time, so I said both. Yeah, don't worry about anyone trying to take anything from you. Another cup will be put in your hand. You won't even know how. You'll be like, oh, I guess I'm just back at it again. They come, they take away your cups. You go, oh, it's gone. Then all of a sudden it's just back in your hand. I don't know how it's getting back in your hand. There's no effort. You know, maybe you're taking this wand that's being handed to you and you're just turning it into a cup. Like, you might be transmuting so hard that it's... The cards are saying don't think too hard about it. I don't know. Your own special magic is your own special magic. I'm not here to miraculously identify how or why that is. I'm just here to see it. I'm just here to witness it with you. I want to say I'm proud of you, because that's what I want to say. I just got more chills in my arms. This is pretty cool. Alright. Let's see what else needs to be said. I think if anything there might be to worry about on this table, it's this King of Wands to my left, with this Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck above it. I don't know why. I feel like everything else is kind of taken care of. I think the Page of Cups made themselves obvious. I think the Knight of Wands made themselves obvious. I think the Queen of Swords made themselves obvious. I think the King of Wands maybe did not. Or maybe this is an energy that you are now interacting with. Or I don't know, it's in this card with words on it, it's describing a dictator, tyrant, impulsive, abusive. So maybe this is someone from your past that brings up kind of unpleasant memories. What's going on with this King of Wands here? Let's find out. Sideways card. Queen of Pentacles. I'm kind of getting that it's someone else that's hang on. It's someone that you're dealing with is dealing with. Someone that you're dealing with is dealing with someone else. And I don't mean like your partner is dealing with someone else. I mean whoever says whenever quote unquote anything goes wrong with you, whoever says I'll go deal with them. So whoever sees themselves as your handler, your manager, whatever your association is, whoever says I'll go deal with them, they are dealing with someone else. And that someone else reminds them of someone else. Like, this is a weird chain reactive kind of thing that I'm just going to leave over here because I can smell from a mile away that this has nothing to do with you. But I just want to point it out so that you know. I've said it enough times, I think you got it. Let's see. Yes, no, I mean, we have the 3 of Pentacles in reverse, and then the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Something is, I'm just going to say what I heard, something is trying to slow you down. Slow you down. Whether that is because you need more rest or because you seem too unstoppable, I'm not sure. I don't think it matters because whatever whatever compartment this situation lives in, whatever arena, whatever battlefield, like whatever contained environment this situation is playing out in, the environment wants to protect you. And I've always believed that that's possible, so I have no problem saying that. Some environments feel so in line and alive, not always in line, but alive, that you can tell if they're looking out for you. You know if a building is looking out for you. But I'm speaking, I mean, most of us are in buildings most of the time, or at least some of the time. I don't know, whatever, if this is like your forest that you go to, and you're a park ranger, and the other park, you know, the arena is the forest because you're a park ranger. Just think of however the metaphor applies to you. However it applies to you. Because this arena could be in your head. This Karina could... Karina? Do you know a Karina? I was trying to say this arena could... It could be metaphorical, physical, literal, but whatever feels like a place to you. Maybe a place that you visit in your dreams. A place that you visit in your meditations. If it feels tense there. And I saw the Queen of Cups tilt. Here's the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I knew something crazy was going to come out. It's the Tower. Because I was about to say, well, with that Wheel of Fortune in reverse, I was like, something is turning this situation on its head, and then it's the Tower. I think it's this person who is trying to hide reality from you. Because if they're trying to hide it from you, they're trying to hide it from other people too. Page of Pentacles. Perhaps younger people. You don't want that affecting other people if it's affected you too, right? I mean, that's kind of the feeling. Just know you're being watched for. Maybe there are energies that are still occupying the area, the building that you're working in, or, you know, I don't know. It's very odd. We have the Moon in reverse down here. I think this is a card to say, like, don't be afraid of what I'm saying, please. Energies are here to understand. They generally don't want to hurt us. I mean, this one definitely doesn't want to hurt you, so at least don't worry about this one. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, this is going to be kind of blunt. I have heard readers make the joke about trying to arrange furniture on the Titanic, rearrange furniture on the Titanic, on the deck. I think that's what Spirit is encouraging you to not do, or maybe even this energy that is dwelling in the place where this is going down, where this is taking place. And if it's taking place in your head, you know, just try to separate from the fact that I might be saying that there is a spirit in your head, but maybe there is. Maybe there's an ancestor who's really knocking on the door and it's like, I have to tell you that this is about to go down. So just take it as it resonates, but it just seems like you are being asked and requested to remember that the wheel turns, that the sun shines whether or not there are clouds covering it, and that you need to take care of yourself, most importantly right now, because there is imminent chaos and destruction. I'm coming your way. I'm sorry that's not like the coolest message ever. I mean, this kind of still is, though, because the Tower, let's go into it like we always do. Not us here on the channel yet. I haven't talked about the Tower much. I don't know if I've seen it this spectacularly. But of course, at the beginning of the reading, I was talking a lot about foundation rebuilding. That is what the Tower is all about. And of course, it's talking about sudden destruction, chaos, upheaval, removal, a blast to a tower that catches on fire and everyone's jumping out. It's chaos. Oh, these cards just wanted to plop out. Four of Wands in reverse and the Empress. I mean, this chaos may feel scary because it reminds you of an upheaval that has happened in the past, a level of separation that you weren't anticipating. And so you're like, is that going to happen again? No. That will never happen again. There may be situations that feel similar, but that will never happen again. So that's why this tower is scary, is because it reminds you of something that's happened before that felt, I just heard, a lot worse. But now you have judgment that you did not have before. You have this tack-sharp judgment that is going to get you through. And you have this star power behind you that is unstoppable. You have the wheel on your side, which is always turning whether or not people want it to. And you have this Ten of Pentacles. You have a treasure chest coming your way because you asserted yourself in a situation that you should have, that it was beneficial, that it was beneficial to. Here's another Ace of Wands. I think someone was coveting your opportunity with that King of Wands, or just could have been tempted to, but now instead of being handed one opportunity, you're going to be handed two. It's just going to double up because, I don't know why, it just will. It's just a feeling I have. Strength in reverse. Let's see there. Knight of Cups in reverse. Magician upright. I'm glad to get that buffer at the end. Well, that huge clarification, actually. I think I just got a hit from the Ace of Cups reverse that you were, for a time, perhaps, dissociating from quote-unquote the wrong thing. Basically what you didn't want to. But were encouraged to. And now you're redirecting that dissociation where it matters, and where it is appropriate, and where it will make a difference. And while it hasn't been perfect, and far from easy, nothing stopped you, and you've learned to turn pain and suffering into magnificence. But not in the way that you thought it would be before. There was some kind of disappointment here about how it was going to go, but it was not long lasting because you made magic out of that disappointment immediately. And so now there's kind of a question and a concern and a struggle about how to maintain, how to keep it going. And we have the Three of Swords on its side, and then the High Priestess in reverse. Apparently we're not supposed to ask about that. I always take the High Priestess in reverse as like a dead end. Not a dead end, but just in terms of tarot reading specifically, just kind of like a pause. I'm just going to say what I'm hearing. You were never going to build a legacy on heartbreak. That was never your destiny, nor was it your goal. It's not about heartbreak. It's not about building a foundation on brokenness. It's about knowing that you are not broken, and that the brokenness is just a feeling. It's just a feeling. You were just waiting for things to get better, and then they did. There's nothing wrong with how you played your hand. I know I've never alluded to that, but this is a thing I feel I need to say to you. And there's this counterpart, there's this other part, there's this other essence that I'm picking up on that is going through that same realization as you. That is the energy of the Magician and the Strength in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse is saying, oh, I thought it was going to look like this. I thought I was going to have to beat my heartbreak into the ground. Basically, you're both basically coming to the same realization, but in different ways and about different things, okay? I mean, that's such a reductionistic way to go into it again, but I'm having some trouble explaining. I think there was magic created and witnessed, and you and someone else or another aspect of you have been profoundly impacted by this realization that manifesting off of heartbreak is too slow. You just want it to move faster. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but there is a faster way to where you want to go, and now you know exactly where it is, and you know exactly what direction you want to walk towards. There is no question. And this is just such a huge blessing because so many people spend a lot of their lives trying to figure out what they want. Or they avoid it, and you know what you want. And knowing what you want comes with realizing what wasn't going to work, or what you were doing that wasn't going to work, because until the moment the spaghetti finally stuck to the wall and the pasta was done, you didn't know what was going to stick. You didn't know what you were going to throw at the wall and what was going to stick, and now something has stuck. And you're like, oh, okay. And this is a tower. And again, it feels similar to something you've gone through in the past, but trust me, it isn't. And I think you're both. So it's either going to be double the reward comes straight to you because this is an internal part of self, or you and your friend, you and your counterpart, you and your partner, you and your whoever, are each going to be handed an opportunity or a bounty or just, I don't know, some easier, an answer to a problem that you've been waiting for, or just some easy solution that is a blessing. I feel pretty close to good here. Let's maybe just pull one more index card in case there's anything else to really say, since the tarot kind of wanted me to pump the brakes. You like making digs at someone else's appearance, this says. Maybe this was part of the heartbreak. Maybe you built an identity that was based on people being unkind to you, and that's where you developed that amazing empathy and that ability to connect with people in the way that you have. But suddenly they're a bit more quiet now, aren't they? That's the sense I'm getting. I feel like that's that quiet feeling that you have inside of you. It's not these voices bouncing around anymore that's defaming your character or making fun of your clothes or just whatever negativity had taken up any space within you recently, I heard. You're realizing that not letting them bully you out of your spot is about to have a huge payoff. And they could have gone to the lowest of the low to try to hurt your feelings and try to remove you from a situation, not unlike a past similar situation that you endured. Because when you love someone, you really want to be convinced of when it's over for a long time before you make that decision. And I heard pull that trigger. I know I shouldn't say that, but whatever. Yeah. Pull the trigger on the decision, all right? Let's keep from wandering minds about that. But it can feel like that. It feels like the end of something, just, it's dramatic and catastrophic feeling while it's happening, but it's to create something new that makes more sense, right? I mean, I know that sounds cliche, but that is what it is. That is what is happening. You kind of looked insults in the face and said to the person saying them, I know you're saying this, I love you anyway. I won't take it personally. And you did that so many times that you created a strength that no one around you has ever seen before. They're really wondering what you're going to do next. I'm just going to pull one more, because that's a very odd card to end on of tarot. Okay. We have the Hanged Man sideways. And the Tower again at the bottom of the deck. You're uncertain, you don't know how this is going to happen, you don't know when this is going to happen. This is, with the 2 Ace of Wands, there will be 2 towers. Ooh. I don't like the sound of that. Alright. I'm going to end it before the words get any weirder, but this Hanged Man to the side, I think is saying, you're just kind of watching things play out. I don't think that you need to move forward on anything or even move back on anything. I think you're paying a great amount of attention at the moment. But I think the fact that you feel protected by this other entity or establishment or belief system is soothing a feeling of like, what do I do? How do I figure this out? You're just kind of like, I will figure this out. I am figuring this out. I am looking where I am looking. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. One more from this tower and then we'll end it. 9 of Cups. 7 of Wands. You're gonna have something to brag about very soon. You're gonna have something to brag about. That's all I want to say, okay? Happy for you. Excited for you. And yeah, I hope this helps. Hope you have a good rest of your day, alright? See you on the next one.